Hi, everyone. Welcome to Summer Meals Promotion and Outreach, hosted by the Food Research and Action Center. I'm Steve Hayward, FRAC's Communications Manager. Before we begin, I'd like to cover a few brief housekeeping items. We expect this webinar to run about 60 minutes. We are recording the presentation and will send the recording and slides in a follow-up email to everyone who registered. Closed captioning is available. To turn captions on, click the CC button in the bottom taskbar and select English as the spoken language. We'll have time for questions and answers at the end of the presentation. To ask a question at any time, please use the Q&A tab, also in the bottom taskbar. With that, I'll pass it off to Clarissa Hayes, Deputy Director of Child Nutrition Programs and Policy at FRAC. Take it away, Clarissa.
Great. Thank you, Steve. And hi, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. As always, we are so glad that you could take time out of your busy day to join us. Today's webinar, like Steve mentioned, is on one of the core pieces of a successful summer program, which is promotion and outreach. And we're really excited about today's topic because whether you are a sponsor or an advocate or a state agency, there is a role for everyone to play when it comes to promotion and outreach. So let's go ahead and dive in because we have a lot to cover today. So here on the screen is a list of our all-star panel that will be joining us today to share their perspective on different promotion and outreach strategies. So I'm going to talk for a little bit about some of the best practices that we've seen on the national level, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our guest today. So we have joining us Heather Guzman, who is the Director of Meal Programs and Compliance at the San Antonio Food Bank. Next, we'll hear from Azaid Perrin Monteroso, who is the Nutrition Programs Project Manager at the Rhode Island Department of Education, specifically the Child Nutrition Team. And then last but not least, we'll hear from Constance Moore, who is the Senior Food Compliance Officer at the YMCA of Memphis and the Mid-South. And as always, we will leave time at the end for any questions that you have. So as we go through our slides, if you want to go ahead and look for that Q&A feature that's at the bottom of your screen, feel free to add your questions there. That is where we will be taking the questions at the end of today's webinar. So let's go ahead and dive in. So as always, really want to set the scene for why we think this topic is so important and why we wanted to dedicate an hour to that today. So at this point, if you are a summer food provider, you probably have your meal sites identified, you're working on your application or your application is in, you're solidifying those menus, and now is the time to really think about how we are going to promote and raise awareness about the summer meal programs, because we know that if families and children don't know about them, then we are not going to reach children and we are not going to make sure that we're closing that summer nutrition gap that exists in every state. So we know that there can sometimes be barriers to the summer nutrition programs that prevent access, but one of the key barriers that remains is lack of awareness. So here on this screen is a data point pulled from USDA's Summer Meal Study from 2018, which I fully recognize as 7 years ago, but I think a lot of this remains true at this time. But what it says is that a lack of awareness about the summer program located near their home is the most frequent reason both non-participant teens and non-participant caregivers give as to why they or their children do not participate in the program. 73% of non-participant teens and 46% of non-participant caregivers indicate that they did not know about the program site closest to their home. So this just goes to show that there is a lot of opportunity out there to really pull together those outreach plans and make sure that every family and every student knows that they're eligible for these programs and where they can participate. So on the next slide, I wanted to spend a couple minutes talking about some of the best practices that we often see on the national level at FRAC. So obviously, the key piece is to really utilize both social and traditional media. We know that families don't have access all the time to the same kind of avenues, so using all the kind of media that you have access to is really key here. It's easy to schedule messages on your Twitter or on Facebook or through other means to go out leading up to and throughout the summer. It's also really important to share pictures of the meals. That can really be an incentive, especially on apps and platforms that allow for pictures. And then traditionally, we've always seen a lot of success with some of those more physical media like radio ads, bus ads, and billboards. Another opportunity that is a great way to spread the word is really engaging your elected officials. So we want to make sure that members of Congress, governors, and mayors are really promoting and being a figurehead for these programs. So invite them to visit your sites, invite media, make sure that that's getting out there that way. Next, we really want to make sure that the word gets out before the school year ends. So schools often have channels for getting information out to parents, and that should definitely be utilized to share the word about summer meals. And one reminder that I want to give here is that schools are actually required by law to promote summer meal sites. There are plenty of messages and resources out there, so schools don't have to reinvent the wheel. And then the other point I would make here is just there's an opportunity to really cross promote with other federal nutrition programs. So if you are an organization that does outreach around SNAP and WIC, think about including information about summer meal sites as well when you share that information. Next slide, please. All right. So the other piece that I really wanted to talk about, and I know our speakers will touch on this a little bit too, is it's really important to consider your language and your messaging when you are promoting summer meals. So obviously, if you are sharing any kind of resource or information, you should make sure that those materials have information on finding sites. So USDA has a map. I know that No Kid Hungry no longer has their texting hotline, but a lot of states have their own, or USDA has their resource. So that's one option. We also want to be mindful of the language that we're using and how we promote these materials. So generally staying away from stigmatizing words like hungry and low income is really crucial here. And last but not least, we want to make sure that families know that these meals are available to all and that no registration is required. We really want to ensure that these are open to all and a safe space. Next slide, please. All right, so a few more best practices. So something that we've seen work really well is using consistent materials and messaging when possible. And what this means is that if you are in a state where there is a certain branding or material that has been created, it's often best to use that if you can, because seeing that familiar image and seeing it over and over again can make families feel more comfortable with accessing those summer meal sites. They recognize the branding, they know what it's affiliated with. So having that kind of cohesive brand, if possible, can really help with promotion. The other thing too is just to create some sample messages and graphics that can be shared. So if you're an anti-hunger organization, you can think about helping with some of these and then sharing it with your partners. They can put it in their newsletters, they can put it in an email blast, if they distribute flyers to their clients, really making it so no one has to reinvent the wheel or that everything is an easy lift for them can really be key. So additionally, hosting a kickoff or a midsummer event to raise awareness can also be a great opportunity. So whether it's like a parade or some kind of event that's happening in your community, find a way to include outreach around summer meals. Again, it's really important to partner with trusted community members like faith-based organizations and other community advocates. These groups are already working with the community, so partnering with them as trusted sources can be a key way to spread the message. We want to think about the audience and who we're trying to reach and tailor the messaging that way, which also includes translations if possible. And again, I'll say this one more time, is that there is no need to reinvent the wheel because there are lots of resources out there that have already been created that can just be used for your own purposes. And we'll talk about a few of those in just a little bit. So on the next slide, I wanted to just highlight a couple of examples from states before we hear from our awesome panel. So the first example here, and we'll make sure to get all of these links and resources out after the webinar, is the North Carolina Department of Instruction. So this is the North Carolina State Agency, and they have a really great website, and the link is here. So if you want to look while I'm talking, but basically aim is really to provide all their materials that you would need for a successful summer meal site on this website. And as we've been talking about, a key part of that is promotion and planning. So they have various materials that you can order, including like visors and banners and all those good things. They also have some really great materials. And the thing that I really like about these, and I think is really successful, is that they have the QR code. So in this day of age, like being able to scan the QR code is really key. And there's also a place there for individual content. So you can add your logo, you can add the start dates and the end dates, but just a simple customizable graphic that anyone can use, and it has that consistent branding. Next slide, please. So this got a little blurry, but this next spotlight is on the Colorado Department of Education, and they have a similar website for sponsors and advocates talking about different strategies for outreach. And the thing that I really liked about this is that they have tested different ways to promote the programs, and they dive into that on their website. So they talk about Facebook and Instagram and email and text messages and what works with certain populations and what's the best way to like utilize that fully. So for Facebook for example, it remains one of the most popular social media platforms, and that most of the viewers on that are parents. So really tailoring the messaging to that audience. And I think that that's a great example in this graphic on the right. A lot of times, the graphics are pretty generic. They're not geared towards a certain audience, but this one clearly is to parents and talking about how they make sure their kids are eating the right things, and so do the summer meal sites. So I think that's just a unique perspective that it's really tailored the promotion to the avenue that they're using. So that is one example. And then the last example I have here is from Project Bread, which is located in Massachusetts. They are an anti-hunger organization, and they work closely with the state agency to help promote. And they also have a website. I did not put the link on here, but we'll make sure everybody gets it. But they just have some really cool materials, and they've definitely made them, a little bit hip, I guess. And they have different graphics that can be uploaded to Instagram with different like opportunities for quotes and graphics, and just a different visual way to promote the program. Probably resonates a little bit more with youth. So wanted to just highlight some of those opportunities. Again, as you can see, it really varies by state. And what I will add is that if your state has not taken on outreach or does not have their own branding, you don't need to worry about that, because on the next slide, I just want to give a quick plug for USDA's materials. So I think a lot of people on the webinar probably know that last year, USDA updated their summer meals materials, and the summer meal sites, as we know them, has the term Sun Meals. So they have some really great graphics, some social media content, communication templates, fact sheets, branding materials. All of this is on their website. So if you don't have access to other resources, highly recommend checking this out and seeing how they can be customized for your own purposes. So that is all that I have. I'm going to go ahead and stop talking and turn it over to Heather, who is with the San Antonio Food Bank, and she's going to talk through what they are doing down in Texas. So Heather, I will go ahead and turn it over to you.
Thank you, Clarissa. Hi, everyone. My name is Heather Guzman. I am the Director of Meal Programs and Compliance at the San Antonio Food Bank. I'm going to use today's time just to talk about who we are as a food bank, why the Summer Food Service Program is important to us, and how we do promote and do outreach for our program. So to start off with, just first, next slide, please. A little bit about who we are. So we are a dedicated nonprofit organization that distributes over 500 million pounds of food to more than 500 charitable organizations throughout Southwest Texas. Each week, we provide support over 105,000 individuals across our 29 counties. Our mission is to fight hunger and feed hope by ensuring our clients have food for today and the resources to achieve self-sufficiency in the future. We believe in providing food for today, tomorrow, and a lifetime. While fighting hunger remains our top priority, we also strive to educate and provide assistance in various other ways to support our community. Next slide, please. Our available service and programs are organized under various branches of our mission. We have benefit assistance, which offer application assistance for WIC, TANF, Medicaid, and Medicare. and screen for other services that best fit our clients' needs. Food assistance provides immediate food assistance through our food pantry programs. Our food distributions can serve up to 1,200 families at one time and are scheduled throughout our service territory to make resources more equitable. Job assistance. Our job assistance program helps clients achieve self-sufficiency through various job placement opportunities. We empower individuals to acquire new skills and attain industry certifications. We offer specialized programs catering to the needs of children, seniors, and pets. Our chef, nutrition, health, and wellness, we believe that overall wellness begins with food and health education, and where our culinary training program comes in, it supports this belief. For more information, you can visit our website or call, and we'd be happy to share that information. Next slide, please. So we are a sponsor of the summer feeding program. Currently, we've been operating the program for over 18 years. Last year, we had 180 partner sites, and our partners consisted of community centers such as YMCA's, Boys and Girls Club, Parks and Rec, schools, libraries, churches, community pools, you name it, we have various types of partners. And again, this makes us more equitable to serve children in our community. We do have a central kitchen, meaning we make our own meals. Our community kitchen offers an array of nutritious scratch-cooked meals. Our menu is created in-house as well. And we're producing over 60,000 meals per week. So that's a lot of meals going out to a lot of kids, which we're very proud of. Again, our service territory is about 29 counties, and we are currently have partners within 13 of those counties throughout Texas. So Texas is pretty large, as you can see. And then on previous slides, you saw all of our counties that we serve. Next slide, please. So the summer feeding program, as a food bank, the summer feeding program is priority for us because it fills critical nutrition gaps that can also lead to increased food insecurity. And as a food bank, it's our mission to fight hunger and feed hope. So this helps us prevent hunger, supports health and wellness, and again, helps us reduce food insecurity in our areas. Next slide, please. So I've outlined on this slide key strategies we use to promote our summer program. Sample slides will follow. The most crucial aspect that I can really hone in on is organization. Timing is everything for this program, so your program administration and promotional activities needs to be executed promptly to ensure they are effective and run seamlessly. So one tool we've created here at the food bank is to enhance our efficiency is an annual program calendar for the summer feeding program. This calendar helps us outline the timeline of necessary events and specifies departmental responsibilities to ensure the successful execution of the program. A lot of these other bullet points are also outlined on our annual calendar. Again, making sure that these are hit timely in the year will really help make sure that you're promoting your program as needed. As we know, summer feeding program is really fast and furious, so there's not a lot of time to execute. But honestly, it takes a full year to plan and execute this program. So organization, I cannot hone in on enough on that bullet, is really important. Other things that we do timely is community collaboration. So it takes our partners' help as well to really promote our program. One way we do this is before school is out in May, we try to partner with schools and our community centers to help us promote our program. So we use flyers that we distribute to not only recruit sites, but also to be able to help with their enrollment and participation at their partner sites. So we have a site that we use specifically to lure families to their locations. Other things that we do is social media campaigns, and we do this through various points of the season. So again, around February, March, we start promoting the program, looking and recruiting for sites. About, I would say, April, May, we start promoting the program to help with site enrollment. So list of all of our sites that will be participating for the summer, letting schools know that they are available, the different times, and also letting the children know in the various areas what our program is about. Another thing you can think about, and which we've used both news outlets and radio stations to promote our program. In fact, we had one of our radio stations, Y100 with Frito and Katie, that also helped us do what we call read and feed sessions. So not only would they promote our program on the radio station, but they would come out and did a book program with us during our meal services and would read to the children and act out and play while the meal services was occurring. So that was a lot of fun and interaction for the radio station itself as a partner. But in return, they helped us promote that through their outlets. Direct outreach, we use a lot of newsletters for our partners, and we use a lot of flyers for our community. We try to provide these flyers to all of our partners so they can help hand them out. And again, it increases the enrollment and participation at their location, so that in return also helps us with meal distribution. Public events, we've done various public events at the start of summer to kind of start up summer, and then also to close out the summer before the school year starts. This both helps provide education about what we provide, access to our other resources for programming for the families, and then gearing up for the new year, because as we transition from summer feeding to CACFP, this helps roll those partners over in the enrollment process as well. And then last but not least, signage. Signage is very important. You want to place banners over your partners' areas. Garden signs are really great to show where the locations are in high traffic areas. So signage will really help make those crucial points in pointing out, again, where your locations are. Next slide, please. This is an example of our annual calendar. As you can see at the bottom, there's different tabs for each of our departments. Each of our departments, we've created their own annual calendar and what their responsibilities will be. And then the first tab is just our overall programming calendar. So there's application processing, there is budget processing, there is staff hiring. This basically outlines what target and project you have to hit each month of the year in order to prepare for the program. As you can see, as we get closer to June, the month's color changes from gray to like we still have a little time, yellow, we're getting closer, red, it's the month before we hit June and July when summer feeding is about to start. So again, all of those timelines and projects you want to hit in that order to ensure your program is running efficient and smoothly. This also will include, as you can see down there, there's Marcom. So this will help. This also includes scheduling of our promotions, our events, when we want to print, when we want to throw the bid out, if you're doing any kind of bidding for your promotional or event activities. All of that is included in this annual calendar. And I have to preach that this has been a lifesaver for our program because it really organizes us to be more efficient. Next slide, please. This is a sample of our website. Our promotion this year is Serving Bright Futures. So that is our marketing campaign for our summer meals. And this is just what it looks like. You can visit our website there at the bottom if you'd like to see more details. But it does have a map of all, it will have a map of all of our locations this year for summer. It'll also have our client services hotline to make it a little bit more easier for clients to find locations. They can call in, we'll ask for their address and point them to the direction of the nearest site to them based off the address they provide. It also has our applications for the sites that would like to become a partner on there. It's electronic, so it makes it a little bit easier for them to submit their forms, to check eligibility, and to apply to become a partner for the program. Next slide, please. This is a sample of one of our slides that we use. We call this our site recruitment slide. So we hand this out to our distribution department, who has over 500 partners throughout our service territory. If any of them have kids that they would like to serve or families that attend their pantries, we want them to become a partner. And this, again, makes us more equitable for the program. So what it has in front is the program details as far as start and end dates, a little summary of what the summer feeding program is, and then site requirements to become eligible partner on the back. And then, of course, our contact information, and we can walk them through that process. So this is the front and back of one of our flyers. Next slide, please. Our next flyer is the Get Help flyer. So this is a flyer we hand out to all of our partners to help with their enrollment and participation at their sites. We also hand these out to schools just within our community and service territory to also help, again, with participation in any of our partner sites. It's both English and Spanish. It has our telephone number, our website. There's a QR code on there that could pull up the map and has easier accessibility to locations and our partners. And again, just more program information on there. So the front is English and the back is Spanish. Next slide, please. One of the things we were talking about is the summer events. This is a photo of one of the kids that we served at one of our summer events. We promoted an opening one year, and we had a taste testing of our summer menu. We really wanted to see if what we were serving was what kids actually liked. So they were able to come to our event. We were able to do an opening session for our summer program, and they were able to sample and taste some of our menu items that we would be serving for the summer, along with their parents, just to kick off the summer the right way. This is one of my favorite photos, but that's what took place in this session. But again, there's various ways that you can promote events throughout the summer season. You can do kickoff events, you can do end of back to school events, just any way to promote your programs and your resources, again, for your summer feeding program. And next slide, please. And this is my contact information. And if any of you have questions, there's my direct phone number and email. I would love to hear from you. And if I can help in any way, just let me know. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Heather. I love that summer annual calendar, and the materials are just so bright and inviting. So we are definitely going to make sure that those get shared out afterwards. So thank you so much for that perspective. All right, at this time, we are going to hear a state agency perspective. So I'm going to turn it over to Azaid, who is a old friend of Frax and has been on many of our webinars, but we're so happy to have her. So Azaid, I will turn it over to you to let us know what's happening in Rhode Island.
Thank you so much, Carissa. It's a pleasure to be here sharing with you and to all the guests that have joined this webinar. Again, my name is Azaid Perry Monteroso. I have been working with the Rhode Island Department of Education as a consultant, performing the role of Nutrition Program Project Manager and in charge of everything that has to do with outreach, promotion, and community engagement. If we can go to the next slide, please. So as we move on, let me tell you a little bit about Rhode Island. In the last 13 years of the program, we have served over 7.7 million summer meals. And just in the worst time of pandemics, we served 3.6 million summer meals using innovative strategies. And I just wanna stop there for a second. As we know, hunger is an issue for the year round. So we have worked together with the schools to try to improve alternative breakfast options and make sure that we promote the program in those communities that serve in preparation for the pandemic that nobody knew was going to hit us. And that is how we were able to serve that many meals during the summer of 2020. Our largest number of regular meals served have been over 570,000 meals, and that is a huge number for us. We have more than 20 sponsors in the States and over 200 meal sites, open meal sites. Now, something that is very important is that we use United Way as our partner. They have a list of all the summer meal sites across the state, real live information on the location of the site, hour of operations, even the menus. If something happens because of inclement weather, they will know, and automatically whoever calls and asks for the latest information on the closest meal site, information will be given. So in Rhode Island, we use 211 as the brain of operations to keep community updated of meal sites. And for those that need to find the closest location of a summer meal being served, they can call United Way or go online and they will find the information at their fingertips. If we can move on, please, to the next slide. So we can move on into the next one. You know that everything has to do with having an action plan, how it is that we view our communities, how it is that we understand how they move, how they interact with each other, and where they are on each season is going to help us actually reach the goals that we have for each one of our programs. So if we can go to the next slide, please. As I was saying, Summer Meals is a year-round program. As soon as we are finishing a summer, we are already looking into the data. How many children that we fed, how many summer meal sites were active, what it is that we found that could be improved. So during the fall, we work on data analysis and planning. In the winter, we review the data by site and by sponsor, and we start our site recruitment, which means the following. Rhode Island has 39 cities and towns. Yes, we are a small state, but there is millions of opportunities in a small state like ours. So we create a database every year that have a list of all community agencies, faith-based organizations, any nonprofit agencies serving youth and children across the state. And we start looking by location whether or not they are eligible. Then if they are not eligible by location to become a summer site, then we look into any kind of enrollment. Are they providing any kind of summer camp where they will have a roster of children that are going to be registered? If that's the case, we reach out to the organization, we work with them, we explain about the program. If they want to become a meal site, we work with the Rhode Island Department of Education and the school districts that these children are going to be attending to determine eligibility of this potential site, since they will become a closed site. And that is how we are able to bring on board so many sites. In addition to that, now that we have the determination of rural, in Rhode Island, we had a very innovative approach this past year. For the first time, Block Island was served as a rural site, but our new partner, Meals on Wheels, who in the past have worked doing dissemination of flyers, every time that they give a meal to a senior, they gave also a flyer about summer meals. And you will say, why give a flyer to seniors? Well, as you know, many grandparents become caregivers during the summer to care for little children that are knowing it. So that was the opportunity to partner. Last year, they tried as a sponsor, and it was a great success. They started with a target number of 25 kids, and this gave us the opportunity to serve just in that location over 25,000 meals, which was great. So as we are identifying new sites, we are building partnerships. And we are going to talk about partnerships in the next slides. Now, on the spring, which is like right now, we work on everything that has to do with our media management. So we reach out to all of our partners. We do a meeting that has like between 180 partners across sectors that will come as ideas. We already have a plan for recruitment, for outreach, and for community engagement. But what we do is we hear from our partners what have worked for them, and any new ideas that they have, we try them. I think that the program has become very successful because we never say no to an idea. We try it, and if it doesn't work, we just find a new way not to do something. But we never leave anyone behind. And it's amazing to find partners that come around the table and they share about what outlets of communications they have, something that wouldn't create a burden to the partner, but they use the program. When we talk about outreach and dissemination, we use everything. And yes, and I will talk about that in a second. So Summer in Action is our direct outreach. We work on the field. We do neighborhood-based community outreach and engagement. We go and meet families where they are, and we invite them to come to our summer meal sites. And that is why we also use our summer meals kickoff events as an opportunity to bring families into the program. Our marketing campaign is in full effect. We have a cohesive statewide campaign that is displayed from north to south and east to west. So if we can go to the next slides, please. So we decided to tie all USDA nutrition programs into one collective campaign. Each one of them have their section that highlights everything related to the program, but all the artwork speak of the same message: food being accessible to children 365 days of the year. So that here gives us the opportunity to reintroduce each one of the programs. As Clarissa mentioned before, there have been a lot of stigma about the summer meals program, and that was an issue in 2013. We actually had a summer meals site that was open in a town, and the next day the local newspaper say, finally, the poor children of so-and-so have a place where to eat. Next day, nobody show up to receive a meal. And that was the turning point for Rhode Island, where all federal, state, and local partners made an agreement. We were going to remove from our language anything that has to do with the poor, the needy, and anything that takes away the value of working families that try to provide and cannot always have what they need at hand. So since then, we started a campaign to build healthy kids, healthy communities, healthy families for a healthy Rhode Island. We created sets of marketing materials for each one of our programs, and we provide to all the sponsors so they can display them in all their open sites, companies, to design and provide the same visuals across the state, school by school. If we could please go to the next slide. So this is an example of what we have done. Actually, at the beginning, we start with Mag the Apple, and it have turned into the Rhode Island Summer Meals and the Healthy School Meals. Healthy School Meals is a campaign that we use year-round, and then Summer Meals, CACFP, or school meals go directly with the same colors, visual, etc. One thing that is important, and I'm going to just highlight what Clarissa said at the beginning, the language that we use to promote the program has to be according with the literacy level of the people listening to our message. When we are speaking to those that have a different language other than English, the message can vary depending on the words that we use. We have translated all the summer meals materials other than in Spanish, in Portuguese, in Arabic, in Mandarin. If I'm not mistaken, they have asked for an additional 2 more languages. I cannot remember right now. But we have made the effort to translate those flyers as well to make sure what
Hey, Azaid, I think we may be losing you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. If we can go to the next slide, please. So for our reach, one of our main strategies is a no stone unturned approach. And that means what I said at the beginning, reaching the community where they are, making sure you exhaust every outlet of communication that is accessible to you, using a cross-sectional approach, leverage all partners' communication outlets to spread the word. When a partner asks, why should I care? This is healthcare, it's not summer meals. Well, guess what? We have the common denominator, which is people. You are serving the same families that I serve. And having healthy children, it also has an impact on the health. Food access has a direct impact on the health and quality of life of people. So making partners understand why collective action is necessary for us to be successful is key to make sure that all of our partners help on the promotion and distribution of our materials. Something that we have realized through time is that when individuals hear the message coming from all their trusted entities, then they understand that something is cooking, something is right, I need to pay attention. And that is very important. It's very important. And that is why making sure that our partnerships are strengthened every year will ensure that our programs are successful. This also gives us opportunity to identify potential sponsors, potential sites, and once again, as we are working on the outreach and we are able to identify these potential sites and potential partners, it also gave us the opportunity to see whether or not they are eligible. I was talking before about enrolled sites, closed sites, building the partnerships that are willing to go a little bit above and beyond to make sure that, an example, I know we have panelists from the YMCA. Once we had a YMCA that was not area eligible, but had 1,000 students going to different camps. They were being bused from eligible locations to that one location in Warwick. And we worked with the staff that was very willing to add in their application questions related to which school district did the child attend. And other series of questions that will be identifiers for the school district. And that helped us make the site eligible. So there are many ways in which we could make sure that we reach out to those potential partners, recruit new partnerships, and display information about the program. Something that is very important, we cover every corner store by neighborhood, by city. We have a team of people that will go and display posters and flyers, door hangers in neighborhoods' homes, flyers and posters in community-based organizations, faith-based organizations, youth organizations, and corner stores. We go, we introduce a program to the owners of the stores. They let us display our flyers or our posters. So wherever you go in Rhode Island, from the end of May to the end of August, most likely you will find a Summer Meals flyers or poster in any of our stores because we do everything. Besides that, we use every newsletter, website of our partners, and we use even like doctor's office, WIC offices, food pantries. Everybody gets to have a summer meal flyer. We also work with the school districts and we sort our flyers in bunches of 50. And the reason why I'm saying this is because in many occasions, if you bring a box of flyers to school, they won't pass them. So what we do is we just sort them out by 50s so that they could give it to each classroom. Whatever extra they have, they can have them in the front of the school. But that way we ensure that every school has the opportunity to send home a flyer. Yes, schools are mandated to provide that information. So I always give them a friend reminder that this is not just that they, like whether or not they wish to support us, they have to. They have to support the program. It's a federal mandate. Can I please go to the next slide? So our partners, our healthy ambassadors, I mentioned about this a minute ago, how we recruit partners, make them see that common denominator. We have great partners. United Way is one, Blue Cross Blue Shields of Rhode Island. They print 200,000 flyers for us as an in-kind donation. We use that as part of our marketing material distribution. And we have partners from all sectors. It's incredible, from shelters, food pantries, healthcare, you name it. You know, it's like just thinking of the amount of partners that we have across the state. And I think that you only have to look around how many agencies interact with one family. That will help you understand who else you are not reaching in your community that could help you also spread the word. If we can go to the next slide, please. So pre-summer, one thing that we do is we identify community events that are going to be happening. So in addition to everything that we do for outreach, we also promote community engagement. We have tables in these events, start talking about summer meals, and that gives us a great opportunity to engage with families. I mentioned our distribution to all community-based organizations, school districts, and we do the corner stores. which help us bring awareness before summer starts. Now, one thing that is very important is every sponsor has a kit of the awareness campaign. They have to display in their sites. We have bridges and highways. So we go and display all of our large banners. Usually they are 4x20 or they are 3x7s, depending on how big the bridge is. And we dress the state in summer meals promotion material. Can I go to the next slide, please? So opportunities turn into successes. During the summer, our campaign is in full effect. Every single corner of the state should have something that says, go and get a summer meal. Our staff is doing direct outreach in the neighborhoods. So we already have a list of summer meal sites. The staff goes around, they promote the program. They are even in the summer meal site. So when they see families that are new, they invite them to go and take advantage of the free meals that are being distributed. We work with our local radios and newspapers and even faith-based newspapers, as well as the cultural newspapers that we have. We print materials and we use PSAs, and we have like 15 minutes every week that they are run throughout the week where we answer questions about summer meals, about the eligibility, which we know a summer meal site shouldn't request any IDs, any proof of address. Any child 18 and under could come and receive a meal in any of the sites. So we clarify to people why this is a resource for all families. And that have helped us tremendously to gain the trust of people and remove the stigma. So again, we use every potential outlet of communication. That is over 550,000 newsletters that go out every year from all sorts of partners, letting people know summer meals are back in Rhode Island. Next slide, please. This is just a picture of our summer meals kickoff events. Those are great opportunities to celebrate with the community the health of our kids, the opportunities that we have for food access. And this is the result of that outreach, that community engagement, the partnership. So that is the beginning. We also do spike events every Tuesday or Wednesday. When we know there are low numbers, we identify potential sites where you can do small celebrations that will bring information to the community that food is in this park, is in this location, ready for distribution. You just have to go there. Something I would like to highlight is in 2020, in the middle of the pandemic, we went out and we surveyed the community. There were 65% of new parents coming to summer meal sites. Our goal 2021 was to retain the 65% for the following year. And that exactly happened. Not only we retained them through the outreach and recruitment, we also increased 15% more. That was 80% of parents coming to the summer meal sites were new. And we have been doing this very digitally. So there are families out there that still don't know about summer meals, or if they knew, they didn't think it was something for them. Something that happened when we were facing those times in the pandemic was that families had to revisit their budgets, see how could they make it through such a time. And I think that with the increase of cost of life right now, we are seeing families that are struggling. So ensuring that families get the information of where these meal sites are key for our children to be fed through the summer. Next slide, please. Again, what worked and what didn't work, what can be improved. I can tell you that sorting the flyers for the schools is a plus. You won't find them in the trash. They will go with their kids in their backpacks. What can be improved? We are always looking for ways to improve the program. I think that we need to keep encouraging our sponsors to display the materials. We have challenges with the staffing in the summer meal sites because all the work that we do ends in the hand of that staff handling the meal. If you don't have good customer service, if they don't promote the program the way that it should be, all the work is wasted. So always training our staff and improving that customer service is a plus to keep the program going so families can return. Next, please. Please send any of your questions through the chat box, and I apologize for taking extra time, but it is always a great opportunity to share with you all what we are doing in our states. And if you have any other ideas that we can take, we will gladly take them. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Azaid, for sharing all of that. Always love hearing you present. All right. Well, we have 10 minutes left, and I want to make sure that we give enough time to Constance in Tennessee. So, Constance, take us home. It's all yours.
Hey, everybody. I got you, Clarissa. I promise you I won't be long at all. I am Constance Moore with the YMCA of Memphis and the Mid-South. Welcome to everyone. Next slide, please. Hey, so what I did was I was trying to give you all a perspective of where YMCA of Memphis began with the summer food programs. We started our actual get into a lot of the food programs as a result of COVID, as many of us did. But I wanted to show you all what it looked like prior years. So during 2023, summer 2023, we know that the waivers had ended. So we had to reroute our way of thinking. During that time, we did not know if we were going to have non-congregate sites, but we did. We got late approval from the state of Tennessee. So in summer of 2023, we only served 4 sites. But during those 4 sites, we only did 6 days of Saturday service. We realized that being in Memphis, we were thinking that many of the parents would come out on the weekend to pick up the bags. And while our summer 2023 was successful with the late start, summer 2024 was even greater because we were able to have 12 sites. And we did 7 days of breakfast and 7 days of lunch. So that resulted in us doing almost 40,000 breakfast and lunch respectively. Another thing with YMCA of Memphis, we not only do non-congregate sites, we also do congregate sites. So we focus on rural non-congregate to make sure that we can reach the children who can't actually come into any of our congregate sites and get a daily meal. Next slide, please. Here I was showing you the areas we touched. YMCA of Memphis is in a very urban area, Memphis, Tennessee. So when we're trying to reach outside of our areas, one of our goals is to try to develop trust. YMCA is a known brand. When you see the Y, you kind of understand what the Y is about. Many people still believe the Y is just gym and swim, and it is, but we do so much more than that, including childcare and feeding the kids that are in our service areas. And so in 2023, we went out to 3 different counties, while in 2024, we went to 10 different counties with 12 sites. And what I want to urge a lot of us to think about is where we are going when we are serving these meals and why we are choosing those places. So please pay particular attention to the areas that we chose that were high traffic during the week. And that was the Board of Education. Parents still had to go up to the Board of Education throughout the summer for whatever reasons, but we were there providing meals. The criminal justice complex, that's a nice way of saying the jail, but there were parents there visiting, and we still had to provide those meals to those kids that could not come to our regular sites, as well as elementary schools and even a hospital, because hospitals are a trusted source in communities where there are limited resources. And for us to be at a hospital at a time that a parent or guardian is there, it shows them that, hey, the Y is also trying to bring something to us, and they can come back even after their hospital visit. And one of our things we did was the advertisement in those areas. We have free meals served on Saturday. We did yard signs, the actual signs that you put on the aluminum tent stands, and you just stick them in the yard and they stay right there for the whole week. Next slide, please. So how do you get out? How do you reach these areas? What are we doing to promote that we are providing these meals? You have to scout your area. You know where you are, and you also know what you are able to serve. Everyone on this call is participating in summer food. And we know that the need is great. Thanks to Clarissa and her facts at the beginning and the things that we've learned about whatever state we're in, we understand that we have a lot of underserved individuals, many of them being children 18 and under. So the USDA has updated their rural designation map. It looks fantastic till you narrow it down. When you narrow it down to a specific address, you may find that you are not actually rural. But I guarantee when you narrow it down to that address, choose an address across the street. I have found out that you go across the street, you are in a rural area. Never, never be afraid to ask friends and family, coworkers, neighbors, grocery store clerks, anyone. Never be afraid to ask them, hey, is anyone in your area actually serving kids meals during the summer? People will say the church is. People may say, well, there's a van that comes by. You can be that trusted partner within that community, and you can come and provide those meals on a regular basis where people don't have to wait or assume or hope that someone is coming. So I always find areas of high traffic where the parents and the guardians frequent and where they work. You will be surprised that when we went to the hospital, I used that again, it was in a very small rural area, because summer meals are free to all children ages 18 and under. The number of parents that worked in the hospital that came out to get those bags, and the fact that they told us, thank you for these meals, because now I can come to work knowing my kids have the food in the refrigerator that they can eat themselves without having to worry about them turning on anything. So I always just think about that. And find areas where the children gather. I have been places, and formerly working for the state, I needed to know where this particular site was, and just not to be creepy, but look for the kids. Where are the kids? And most of the times you will see children gathered. They are going to be gathered in the neighborhood park. If it's a trailer park, there is some type of park area there. There's also a church. Think about the Vacation Bible schools. Children gather in certain places, and you need to be there with your meals. Next slide, please. So our 2025 areas of service, yes. So we did so well in 2023 with 4 sites. 2024, we had 12 sites. So I know you would think, oh, 2025, they're going to double it again. No, 2025, we are moving all the way up to 40 rural non-congregate sites. Again, I told you, we still serve congregate sites. So for the YMCA of Memphis, we currently, right now in our application, we have 100 and plus congregate sites. Those are the sites where the children are at daily. They will be at the YMCA centers that we actually have in Memphis, as well as Middle Tennessee. They will be with our community partners like the libraries, the community centers. They will be with our grassroots organizations, Memphis Athletic Ministries, the neighborhood Christian centers. They will be with a totally independent ministry group who goes out and serves and provides, I don't know the services for it, but they go out and they speak to the children about the Bible, and we provide the meals there. And hey, the YMCA provides meals wherever the kids are. So again, we found rural non-congregate sites actually in Shelby County. Oh, I'm finna run on, Clarissa, 1 minute. And so we are in 20 sites in 20 cities in West Tennessee, 10 sites in 7 cities in Middle, and we're in North Mississippi. Next slide, please. So what we are doing differently, days of service, and I'm running through this. I want you all to think about how you can reach the parent. We were thinking only on Saturdays. Parents work Monday through Friday, Sunday through Saturday. They work different days, start serving on different days of the week. Go where people gather during the week. I always think about church on Wednesday evenings. That's just an example. Seek community events and partner with them. There is about to be an event coming up with a community center here in Jackson, Tennessee, and the YMCA will be there to provide meals because we knew what was going on. And ask your local shops and stores if you can use their parking lot to actually serve your meals. I always request permission. Don't just show up hoping you can serve. I always ask permission. Next slide, please. And there it is. Thank you, Clarissa.
Right at the buzzer. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for hanging in there. We wanted to make sure that Constance was able to share everything that's happening in Tennessee. So I know we're at the end of our time together. So I do not see any questions that have come through. We've been able to answer them in the chat box. But if you do have any questions that you think of after we wrap, feel free to reach out to me. My email address is chayes@frac.org, and would love to share more and connect you to our speakers. So just want to thank our speakers so much for joining us today, and we hope to see you again soon. Thank you all.